So this time I put guacamole and some cherry tomatoes and some organic sweet peppers on my hot dogs. And they're vegan hot dogs, which I made homemade again. And I will be talking about Feeding You Live and these products, which all contain natural flavor. So this one, oh, I put it on the French side, just a moment. Natural hickory smoke flavor. And if you look at the organic bouillon cubes, which James has in his soup today, he has one of these. It contains, where is it? Natural beef flavor, which you can see there. And it's organic, but the only actual like beef fat is down here. Beef meat powder is right at the end. Anyway, so that contains flavor. And this, which I'm not going to drink, I've just been using as potpourri basically, and a hand warmer. If you look there, it also contains natural flavors. So we'll be talking about natural flavors a little bit later. I'll just set this down and grab my hand warmer. You can sit down, James. There's my chair. Oh, so I'll set that back up so you can see. Thank you very much. I'll grab my hand warmer and my paper and I'll start reading to you from Feeding You Lies. How to Unravel the Food Industry's Playbook and Reclaim Your Health by Vani Hari. Did I give you everything you need?
Yeah, I'm just trying to thaw.
And we watched both of those. The one was a first season, the other one was a movie with Willie Nelson. It didn't have Willie Nelson. We expected it to be like a thing about his songs and stuff with him singing. Nope. So it's a movie.
Did he sing anything? I think there's only Charlotte Rampling sing. Okay, sang one thing.
I don't know. Maybe I forgot.
And there was a song by Bono. I don't know what that has to do with Willie Nelson.
I have no idea. But it was the worst movie I've ever seen. It was very hard to detect any kind of story.
Yeah, it's kind of
and the one young woman, I did like her 50s sort of dress. She couldn't act her way out of a wet paper bag. It was awful. And she was the lead. And
you're figuring she was related to Willie?
I don't know. Somebody involved with that, because nobody would cast that. Anyway, so both of those are not worth watching. They're just bad.
Yeah.
Just bad. So
poor Willie, maybe he deserves better. I don't know.
So I tend to read the back about the author first. I didn't see any letters after her name, so I know she's not a doctor. I know that whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, who is this Vani Hari woman? Well, apparently she's New York Times best-selling author and founder of foodbabe.com.
Food Babe.
Food Babe. This is a quote. She is a revolutionary food activist. Revolutionary food activist. I don't know
what that means.
I think that's just some
promotion.
Yeah, I don't know. She was named one of the, this is a quote, most influential people on the internet by Time magazine.
Wow.
Which I wonder if that has anything, like, are New York Times related to Time magazine? Like, what's... Anyway,
Time magazine.
I haven't heard of this woman. Apparently she's hugely influential. And
Time's always been...
Anyway.
They were kind of like Republicans or right?
Okay.
The Luces or whatever they're called.
And another
They've
quote,
always been... One of my favorite scenes from a movie is a Time magazine guy trying to interview Bob Dylan, and he just laces into the puke. So, Time Life magazine got hold of the Kennedy.
Okay, well, you're talking about that. I'm going to eat. So you go ahead.
Got hold of the Zapruder film of the Kennedy assassination, and they, I think they were the ones who reversed the frames and stuff like that. So they're the voice of the establishment. Only they're Republicans, right? maybe involved. I think Luce was involved with the CIA. I don't know. Anyway,
Delish. I'm having a probiotic capsule because I'm not having sauerkraut with my hot dog today.
anyway.
So, now I didn't make, as I pointed out, I did not make this mix of hot dog with that natural smoked hickory flavor, but I did put it in the pan today because I like it and I have it. I own it, so why not use it? Anyway, but
It looks like real hot dogs, man.
oh yeah, I'm the best at this. Anyway,
You're too good. You know, like I gotta say,
I
anything
don't.
that
I'm
looks
not
and
one
tastes
that
like this
toots
stuff.
my own horn, but
Mhm.
nobody's made a better vegan hot dog than I have. Anyway, you can use smoked paprika to, or whatever. You can find some other way to smoke it if you don't want to use the hickory smoke with the natural flavors. And you'll understand why I'm saying that, why other people don't like to use these natural flavored products after I'm reading this a bit. See, I think I spilled. Oh no, it's snow. She teaches people how to make this is a quote. She teaches people how to make the right purchasing decisions at the grocery store, how to live an organic lifestyle, how to travel healthfully around the world.
Oh, okay.
Healthfully around the world.
Okay.
So, she has appeared on plenty of TV shows, and she lives in North Carolina and is the founder of True Vanny, a startup offering real food without added chemicals, products without toxins, and labels without lies. That's a quote.
Well,
And so I'm looking at this going, this book is Feeding You Lies, How to Unravel the Food Industry's Playbook, blah, 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 blah.
it's a pretty thin book for that. I mean,
Well,
there's,
apparently she has her website and she's doing the same thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, as you pointed out, Time Magazine, right-wing Republican sort of thing, and she's going at the beginning, you know, people are saying that it's a marketing, organic's a marketing thing. Well, she is part of the food industry. She's the founder of True Vanny, a startup offering real food without added chemicals, products without toxins, and labels without lies. That
well,
sounds
these
like
are her
marketing
own
to me.
products?
That's her.
Okay, there you go.
True Vanny's her. So anyway, so take that with a grain of salt. Before you get reading anything, she is part of the food industry. She is possibly feeding you lies, right? I mean, this
Well.
is her book. This is what she's titled it. So 11. This is a quote. Who do you trust for information about your food? Do you trust the government? How about food companies themselves? Most people would say, no way. And then
She's
to
saying
both
yes,
questions.
wait.
No way. Anyway, and then later on, another quote, that's why Big Food and Chemical regularly work with university scientists behind closed doors to spread misinformation about food and nutrition. So, you're not supposed to trust the food company, government, or scientists now. And that would include her, because she is True Vanny, a startup offering real food. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, 17. Many dietitians have partnered up with Big Food, blurring the lines between valid nutritional information and food marketing. So that's another quote. And so now you can't trust dietitians either. Many of them. They have paired up with Big Food. And anyway, I would say to all of things, that's true. You can't trust a lot of those. Why would you? Why would you trust other people in the first place? Do your own research. So, I mean, look through the scientific journal articles and stuff like that. Once you can use this book for information to then go to the university and look up journal articles and stuff like that. You can look them up for free there. And do your own research. Look through the studies and say, oh, this study looks like it's been done right, or not. And if you don't have the information to actually analyze these things well yet, maybe take a few courses so that you can better understand your way through the journal articles or whatever. So, 28. The American Heart Association is a nonprofit organization with a mission to build healthier lives free of cardiovascular disease and stroke. And she doesn't believe that's true, that they're true to their claims. 47. Someone created a Wikipedia page about her and made her seem like a crazy person. But according to Wiki guidelines, you aren't permitted to edit a page about yourself. So she wasn't doing that, but she says other people were doing that for her, and every time they changed it, it would be changed back right away, and they were very frustrated. So she thought that Big Food had paid for people to hack her wiki thing or whatever, make it look bad, make her look bad, and that's possible. And she says that she later knew somebody who was one of the people who was doing it, and they said that it was true or whatever. But I mean, this is just her, and whatever, you can believe it or not, who cares? 69.
What they really should do with Wiki is have alternative articles on things. Like, here's what so-and-so says. Here's their response to it. Oh.
That's a good idea. Maybe they should do that. I don't know.
Well, that's not what they do. So.
69. Cellulose is used to make processed food feel creamier. Mice fed 2 of the most popular emulsifier additives used in food, polysorbate 80 and carboxymethyl cellulose. It altered the microbiome in a negative way, increased inflammation, caused metabolic syndrome. 82. Sugar consumption, highly correlated with heart disease. Excess sugar is converted by liver into fat. High sugar diets cause coronary plaque. 86. Sugar increases inflammation. Messengers called cytokines. Sugar consumption leads to more acidic body, which can lead to chronic inflammation, leads to more acidic body. 87. Those on high sugar diets are up to 400% more likely to have a heart attack. 129. Cellulose is an additive made from wood and used as a coating on most pre-shredded cheese to keep it from sticking together. Eating cellulose is linked to weight gain, inflammation, and digestive problems. So that's page 129. And I have noticed cellulose in a very popular brand of Parmesan since I was young. It was when I was a teenager and I was anorexic at the time. And I was really cautious about what I was eating. And I guess a lot of people who go to become dietitians, or nutritionists, they often have eating disorders. They're just very food conscious. They're very interested in it, and then they end up going that way. But so maybe it's normal that I ended up studying food a lot independently because of my origins, where I was as a teenager. I don't know. Anyway, but the cellulose thing going on a long time. Yeah, I really hit it a big way when you got cancer. But I'd already done it. Like, I'd been researching how to have a healthy pregnancy and stuff back before I even got with you. I was collecting the books and doing the readings. 139. Natural flavors are purified extracts from natural sources such as a spice, fruit, or vegetable, and must meet FDA guidelines and safety criteria. 142. Flavor companies own these proprietary formulas, making it nearly impossible to find out exactly what's in them, in the natural flavors. Flavors can contain upward of 100 different chemicals, like propylene glycol, polysorbate 80, BHT, BHA, all considered incidental additives, not required to be labeled by the FDA. The FDA doesn't require companies to tell you what's in the flavors they use. 143. Natural flavor can legally contain glutamate, an additive that mimics MSG. Castoreum is used to augment some strawberry and vanilla flavors. It comes from rendered beaver anal gland. So, this might have beaver butt in it, for all I know. But as James said with his beef, like, he considers himself a pescatarian. And he broke down, because we go to the food bank and we're given these things, and honestly, sometimes the meaty stuff that we're given is healthier than the veg, and possibly. And so for the beef bouillon, he said, that's fine.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be very much of it in there, he said. So, not
There
much
can't
beaver
be,
ass
because
in
I'm
here.
telling you, when you're cooking chicken particularly,
Yeah,
I
I
just
cook it
get
for the dog.
sick. I can't stand
Yeah,
the
I know.
smell.
I don't actually mind the smell
Yeah.
of it. But, which is weird. Where was I? 143. Natural flavor can legally contain glutamate, an additive that mimics MSG. Castoreum is used to augment some strawberry and vanilla flavors, come from beaver butt. 148. 80% or so of the formulation of natural flavors can be preservatives, emulsifiers, solvents, and other incidental additives. 149. Natural X flavors, so natural, say hickory flavor, right there. For example, natural cinnamon flavor, I put down in my notes, comes from cinnamon, but incidental additives still apply. So she's saying that, and I don't know, can you trust her? She's a part of the food industry who may be feeding you lies. So you're going to have to look this up. So natural hickory flavor, who knows what's in that, right? It could come from natural hickory, but then the incidental additives still apply. So there could be propylene glycol in there. And whatever, 100 other things. Natural and artificial X flavor doesn't mean any of the name source. So hickory is used. So this, let's say, I think it just says natural hickory. So maybe that's right. Organic natural flavor won't contain synthetic solvents or preservatives. Some of the incidental additives banned from organic flavors include propylene glycol, monoundeglycerides, BHT, BHAs, polysorbate 80. Natural flavors in USDA certified organic product means that the flavor is not organic, but it is compliant with organic regulations, such as no synthetic ingredients or GMOs. She says that these flavors will have a cleaner profile than the average natural flavor. And as far as I understand it, that's not necessarily true. So, but I'd have to look into that. 151. The flavor ingredient diacetyl has been linked to lung disease among employees at flavoring production facilities. This chemical was commonly used to give a fake buttery flavor to microwave popcorn. 2,3-pentanedione is a substitute which is also linked to lung damage. So enjoy your popcorn.
I think on that note,
You go in. 160.
I'm not reacting well to this. Cool.
So she gives a bunch of sources of B vitamins and stuff, which you can look up. 163, she gives this warning about taking supplements. And echinacea can stop immunosuppressants and corticosteroids from working. Ephedra increases risk of high blood pressure, even coma. Garlic can increase abnormal bleeding and interfere with meds designed to decrease blood sugar. Now, these things do a lot of good for a person, I can say, for sure. So, medications have a lot of side effects that you need to worry about. These foods are medicinal, and they need to be treated as such. So they may have some side effects, right, if you have a lot of it. Ginkgo shouldn't be used with blood thinners or blood pressure medications. The combination might increase risk of bleeding, the decrease effectiveness of blood pressure drugs, and ginkgo interacts with nearly 500 drugs. Now that tells me ginkgo is super medicinal. This just strengthens the claims of these medicinals, as far as I'm concerned, because obviously they are interacting with other drugs, just like you should be careful if you're taking multiple medications, how they interact, whatever. James was on a chemo drug, couldn't have grapefruit. Does that mean that you shouldn't have grapefruit? Well, not if you're on that chemo drug he was on, but otherwise, that's medicinal. That proves it right there. So, Kava shouldn't be used with anti-anxiety drugs, may increase sedation. Well, duh. It's an anti-anxiety, right? So are you going to double up on your prescription anti-anxiety medication? That wouldn't be a good idea. Licorice increases the effects of steroid drugs. St. John's wort shouldn't be taken with antidepressants and sedatives. The combo might cause serotonin to increase dangerous levels. Again, St. John's wort works as effectively as prescription antidepressants. So it's an antidepressant. It's a medicine and should be treated as such, right? So you don't double up on your dose of, you're thinking, oh, well, I'm depressed and I'm having this, so maybe I'll have this too, and just hit it from all angles. No, they're both drugs. Don't do that. 179. So, this quote, so when I eat organic food, I know I'm making the right choice for my health and my body. When I buy organic food, I know I'm doing something positive for the environment, for farmers who grow food in a sustainable manner. When I serve organic food, I know I'm not feeding synthetic pesticides, GMOs, growth hormones, or antibiotics to my friends and family. When I go organic, I have peace of mind. For people like me, organic food is more than just a label. It's a lifestyle. Now this is super powerful marketing of her product. Wow. It's honestly, I prefer to eat organic, and it is best to eat it from people you know. You buy organic food from people that you know, or from family. You get it from family that love you. Or you grow it yourself, because you know what's in it if you're growing it yourself. But when you're buying it from other people, you don't know. And I can tell you for sure, this is not at all true. Because when you serve organic food, you should know that you are still serving synthetic pesticides. There are acceptable levels of pesticides for organic products too. Just less is acceptable in organic products, because it's going to come down in the rain, there's going to be drift, and organic producers have to go to greater lengths to try to grow their product organically, to try to protect their product from drift from other conventional farmers who can just spray it all willy-nilly and have it drift into the neighboring farmers' fields, and it's ridiculous actually. 185. Organic crops are prohibited from being fertilized with sewage sludge. Conventional non-GMO crops can be treated with biosolids, a polite term for the treated waste that flushed down the toilet along with the waste from hospital and industry. This waste can be contaminated with such things as heavy metals, endocrine disruptors, pathogens, pharmaceuticals, pesticides, and dioxides. Of course it is. And I don't know that organic crops are actually prohibited from being fertilized with sewage sludge. The thing is if you think about it, if you're buying from small organic farmers, the cities are not going to give the contracts to take the sewage sludge to like 1,000 tiny organic farmers. They're not going to do that. They're going to be dealing with one big company to cart the stuff away. So if you're buying from big companies, then that's where it's more likely to be, right? So just don't buy from big companies. Buy from little farmers that you know. 186. Organic animals aren't fattened up with growth promoting antibiotics. The overuse of growth promoting antibiotics is creating superbugs that could threaten the entire human population. There's nothing prohibiting the use of antibiotics in non-GMO products containing meat. Not threatening. The superbugs are already existing. So, honestly, it's just a matter of time before a whole bunch of the population gets wiped out by who knows what, urinary tract infections and whatever. E. coli, which you're often seeing in leafy greens. So it gives you, when you see these recalls, which we just had a recall recently, produce, I think it was romaine lettuce coming from California, and the Canadian government on I don't remember what website. I put the link up. They recommended that people throw away their romaine that they bought. Well, why should that cost fall on the consumer? Honestly, why? It's ridiculous. And you get hit with that enough times and you start thinking, wait a minute, there's now antibiotic resistant superbugs, and I might actually die from an E. coli infection from fruit and romaine lettuce from California, and or wherever. then, you know, it's about time I get out to a farm, buy a piece of land, and grow my own greens, because this is ridiculous. I'm not going to die from some stupid jerks, unclean farming practices. Anyway, 188. In conventional foods, there are pesticide residues that remain in the food even after it's washed. Organic foods are produced virtually without pesticides. I hate virtually. I hate it. So virtually means not in fact. Virtual reality is not reality. So that's honestly this Philippe Grandjean, environmental health professor at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. This quote is bad. It's not a good quote. I don't know why she used it. Maybe she doesn't know what virtually means. 192. 100% organic products are made with all organic ingredients besides water and salt. I don't know if that's true. Organic products contain at least 95. Oh, okay. 100% organic. Yeah. The organic is 95. Organic products contain at least 95% of organic ingredients besides water and salt. The remaining 5% cannot be made with GMOs or artificial dyes. I'm not sure about that, but I'll look into it if I care. I'd rather make my own food. Made with organic ingredients contains at least 70% organic ingredients, so that's not very good at all, really. Organic farmers can use livestock manure, but not sewage sludge as fertilizer, can only use organic certified pesticides and fungicides, U.S. Department of Agriculture organic labeling standards, and she gave the website, that's where she got that information. 213, she talks about artichokes, sounds pretty good for your liver. 214, she talks about beets, brassica vegetables, cilantro, garlic, onion, kimchi, citrus fruits, berries, and she eats quinoa and oats while detoxing. 215. And honestly, I pretty much agree with her food likes, whatever. And so, would I recommend the book? No, it was actually not very well written, but whatever. And this, that's what it's good for. It doesn't even smell that good.